Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'll call the meeting to order, Owen County BZA, July the 18th, 2024. And if everyone would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Susan, roll call, please.
Sam Calvert, here. Corwin Abel. Norm Warner.
Here.
Dustin Combs. Here. Beth Wood. Here.
All righty. We have the minutes before us. They were in our packets. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Sandra to approve.
I'll second it.
Second by Beth. All in favor by show of hands?
Abstention.
301. Okay. Old business. Do we have any old business?
We do not have any.
All righty, moving on. New business. So we have 3 public hearings before us tonight. All 3 are design variances, so if everyone will indulge me until I go through this, I can go through it once instead of 3 times. So is all the applicants present? Yes? Okay. All right, so the Board of Zoning Appeals shall approve or deny variances from the development standards, such as setbacks, of the zoning ordinance. The BZA may impose reasonable conditions as part of the BZA's approval process. Criteria to consider. A variance may be approved only upon the determination in writing of the following. Number 1, the approval will not be injurious to public health, safety, moral, or general welfare of the community. Number 2, the use and the value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. And number 3, the strict application of the terms of zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. Establishing foundations. Number 1, public notice in accordance with Indiana Code 5-3-1-2 and 5-3-1-4 shall be published at least 10 days prior to the meeting. Did that happen?
Yes.
On all 3 of the apps? Okay. At least 10 days prior to the hearing, the planning director shall notify all interested parties of the public hearing by certified mail.
Yes, I have.
At least 10 days prior to the hearing, the planning director shall post and maintain a sign on the subject properties notifying those passing the property that a request of a variance approval for the property has been made.
Yes.
Okay. The staff, if any, may appear before the board at the hearing and present evidence in support of or in opposition to the granting of the variance or the determination of any matter. Other persons may appear and present relative evidence. A person may not communicate with any member of the board before the hearing with the intent to influence the member's action on a matter pending before the board. Did anyone hear from anyone party to these applications? Not less than 5 days before the hearing, the staff may file with the board a written statement setting forth any facts or opinions relating to the matter. Did we receive anything in writing on any of these applications?
No.
Okay. Board shall conduct a public hearing, which is what we're doing tonight. Following the hearing, the board shall take action on the application, and our actions can be: the board may approve, deny, or approve with conditions. The board shall make written findings of the facts in support of its decision, and those would be available to be picked up in the office. The applicant shall first present the facts and arguments in support of the case. The burden of proof shall be on the applicant to supply all information necessary for clear understanding of the proposal. Following the application's presentation, comments from the public shall be taken. Any person wishing to speak must register with the secretary and state their name and address. After the public portion of the hearing is closed, the board may address questions or comments to the applicant or other persons if, in the board opinion, the information is necessary to make an informed decision. And all commitments shall be recorded. Okay. With that being said, we will move to open the public hearing for design variance BZA 2024-16. Zach and Clarissa Gunderman, if you guys would come forward and present your application, please. Yes, do turn this microphone on.
Okay, perfect. It's okay if I sit?
Yeah. So state your name, your address, and then give us your application.
Yeah, no problem. I'm Zach Gunderman. Address is 3400 Blue Gate Drive. And so our case is we are asking for a variance for our new home that's being built. So just to start off, so I have copies of our, where we got our building permit and all these things. Basically, we have a foundation in the ground, and our bank came and did a survey and determined from the bank survey that we are 15, the bank survey says that we're 15 feet over a utilities and drainage easement. And so so it set the precedence as well. So we obviously had to file everything. We submitted all of our drawings, which I have copies of those, and I also have a copy of the survey if you guys need to see that. Anyways, and I also have copies of the drawings that were submitted for building and planning for our building permit as well. So you can clearly see it on our survey. If you guys don't have copies of it, I can give you my copy.
I have it right
Yes. Yep. Okay, perfect. So you guys can see on what the bank survey says that we're 59.7 feet from center of the road, which originally we asked, and we were told that we needed to be 75 feet from right of way. Where our lot is, there is a covenant, and our covenant states that we should be 50 feet from right of way, which we were told right of way should be center of the road. So just as a little bit of insurance, we decided to go ahead and bump ourselves back a little extra. We discussed it with our builder. Builder was like, hey, let's just go ahead and bump it back 10 feet. Just give ourselves a little bit of room. So if you measure from where the road meets our property, like the grass starts, we're actually 50 feet, like 51, basically 51 feet from that to the corner that's basically encroaching. And so I feel like a lot of it is just there was some discrepancies, like what we thought was right of way as opposed to what the surveyor is saying right of way is. And so there's a lot of gray area though there, and so you can clearly see that we weren't trying to encroach on anything. We were trying to do all of our homework, trying to check all of our boxes before we ever put a foundation in the ground. So you can understand when we got a notice from our bank that we needed to stop construction, we were very concerned because we're like, oh no, we felt like we had done all of our due diligences, asked all the right questions. And yeah, so like I said, the surveyor is the one that caught the issue. We didn't catch it, and I apologize for that if there was an error on our side. But so some of the other what we're running into now, obviously we have a completed foundation in the ground. We also have our septic in the ground as well, and our septic is right next to where our house is. I mean, it's 10 feet off of our house. So for us to take all that out of the ground, we are, let me look here, rough numbers, we'd be like $80,000, like that we would have to recoup, or we'd have to go back to the bank and get another $80,000 against our mortgage, which I don't know that they would do. And so also reasoning for the house placement was based upon, we worked with our builder and it was the most economical place for us to put our home. I don't know if you guys have all been out to our property, so you can see that there's some pretty significant slope in our property. So where we placed it was us working with the builder saying, okay, this is going to be the most economical place for you guys to put it, because if we had put it farther into the lot, we're going to get more into the slope, and then we were just going to accrue more building cost in the foundation and trying to get it to where it's level. So
you guys are in a subdivision out there. Is there an HOA?
no, there's
Okay.
not. No.
you're in the utility easement, have you spoke to the utility companies?
Yes.
And what did they say?
They did not have any issues. Obviously, we also had it like flagged off before we ever started digging, and so we are well away from where the utilities are. We didn't made sure we were away from that before we ever started actually digging in the ground. So, and then also I did go ahead and collect. If you guys need to see these, we went ahead and like talked to all of our neighbors that are in our subdivision with us. Talked to them about it, and everyone signed off. I have copies of that if you guys need to see the signatures.
If you would just give her a copy of it to put in with the records, that would be fine.
Okay, gotcha. Yep.
Unless you guys want to see it?
No.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
All right. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. All right, well, thank you.
Yep.
So anyone else want to speak to us on this application? Okay. All right. You guys got any questions or anything for this gentleman? Okay.
You said you don't have a homeowners association or anything like that?
No, we just have a covenants basically that just states like some.
So in that case, who would enforce those covenants?
So the covenances are recorded at the recorder's office, so that's just basically how it would have to be. The way our covenants reads is that it's a,
Right.
2/3 majority has to vote on
They
it.
all signed off?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
No problem. You guys have any other
Looks like
questions?
they need 2/3 in order for it to carry as far as their agreement is, and so if you got everybody, that's well within that. All righty. If there's no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and close the hearing, and then we'll have our motions and vote, okay? All right, so I now close the public hearing for BZA 2024-16, and I would entertain a motion, folks.
I'll make that motion that we allow the drawing as is and let them proceed with the work.
Okay,
I'll
Beth
second
makes
that.
the motion. Is that you,
Yeah, I'll second it.
Corbin, seconded? All in favor of allowing them to move forward with this motion, by show of hands? All right. You're in business, sir.
Thank you.
Yep. All righty, moving on. B, I will now open public hearing for design variance BZA 2024-17, Christopher Sheik and Ann Kixmiller. You come forward and present your application, please.
I'm Christopher Sheik. I live at 526 State Highway 43.
And I'm Ann Kixmiller at 526 State Highway 43.
Go ahead.
So, we are requesting a variance because we are within, on the south side of our property and on the east side of our property, within, 20 feet or 25 feet from our neighboring property line, whatever that, I don't remember the number, but we were definitely within that. And so the neighboring property owner, we had spoke to, I don't know, October maybe of last year or sometime earlier this year, and had asked or approached him and said that we wanted to build a shed at the end of our driveway, but it was going to be close to their property line, and did they have issue? And they said, I mean, again, this is just all verbal, but they had no issue as long as we gave them a half an inch or half a foot. So that being said, we submitted out the certified letters to all the surrounding neighbors, and as far as I know, we haven't had any objections, but we'll have to hear from you if there have been. But yeah, we want to put a shed at the end of our driveway. In the, what we filed, you'll see a little diagram in there, hand-drawn, house, garage, driveway, and this is where the shed is going. So the shed will be flush with the very end of the driveway, and then on the south side of the driveway, and then, so it's gonna be long ways. We put in the application 12 by 28, but ideally we'd actually like a 14 by 28 if that's possible. So, assuming either way, whatever size, 14 by 28 or 12 by 28 is horizontal, so it's long, it is 11.5 feet from the property line on the southern side, and then it is, depending on, again, the size, 14 or 12, on the width, it'll be 6 to 8 feet.
From the east.
From the east.
Property line.
Yes. Yes, correct.
So that's basically the premise in a nutshell, is we want to build the shed a little closer to the south and east property lines than is allowed.
Yep.
And this is the Four Oaks property that borders you on both sides?
To the south, yeah, well.
To the south and the east,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And we got nothing from Chris, right?
He came in today and he had no issue.
Okay. Is that it? You just wanted to put a shed in there closer to the property, inside
Yeah.
of the setback,
Yeah,
which would be 25 feet normally?
Right,
correct.
but we put 12 by 28, but we would like 14 by 28 if possible, so it's longer, or I'm sorry, it's a
Wider.
little bit deeper.
Wider.
Yeah.
2 foot wider?
Yeah.
Is the, I mean, you've got it drawn on here like this, does the garage, does the driveway stop at the end of the garage? Just out of curiosity.
it's, the driveway is kind of an L shape.
Yeah.
It veers
I
to
mean,
the,
this line here, is this accurate from the edge of the garage to the edge of the driveway?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
yeah.
Uh-huh. There, well, let me, hold on. Technically, there is a sliver of the driveway, hold on. So technically,
Just a
the
little
end
piece
of the
that steps past it?
driveway comes back maybe a foot.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then this is grass, and then there's some concrete right here, so.
Yeah, it's negligible.
no trees cutting, it doesn't look like?
We will be cutting, some brush work, but
Yeah.
it's on our property.
Right.
Yeah.
No large trees
I
or
don't,
even
I didn't
medium-sized
see
trees.
anything there, that's
Yeah.
why I was asking. And your septic's, I'm assuming, behind the house? well
On the
away-
side of the
It's on
house.
the north side.
Yeah. Anybody got anything? Nope. Anything else?
No.
Is there anyone else that would want to speak on this application? All right, seeing none, I will close public hearing BZA 2024-17 and entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the design variance to allow them to put the shed within the setback. Do we need to specify on the 12-foot
Yeah,
or
we need to
14,
specify the size of the
the
building,
size of the building?
since
So,
it's in question.
yeah. I mean, the application was, I mean, I guess I'm fine with 14 by 28 if that's, if everyone else is fine with it. So I'm fine. I'd like to propose that we approve the design variance for 14 by 28 building at the end of the driveway as stated in the application.
So Corbin made the motion, seconded by Sandra. I would like to friendly amendment that we don't get any closer to the property line than stated by the 14-foot building.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah,
All right. So whatever that number is, I think you said 6 or 8?
Yes, 6.
it would be 6, yeah.
So if we send a building inspector out there and it's 4, we're going to have a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay? All right. With that being said, all in favor of approval of this variance? 4-0? 5-0? 5-0. All right, you guys are in business. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All righty, moving on. I will now open public hearing for design variance BZA 2024-18. Samuel West, he's not here.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
he has to be here.
If we're going to have a hearing, he's got to be here.
So can I just go ahead and close it then, since they're not in attendance?
Yes, and you can either allow them to continue to the next meeting or just deny it because they're not here.
Okay, so, yes,
Am I able to ask any questions?
I've opened a public hearing, so yes.
Yeah, I'm here to speak on the BZA 2024-18, if I'm allowed to. I'm the adjacent property owner.
Okay,
Can I handle that?
sure.
Far away.
Just state your name and your address, and then you can continue.
Yep. I'm Victor Zellum. My property address is 5148 Orange Grove Road, Gosport, Indiana 47433. I had a couple of questions, but I think one of them was already answered by the fact that if the person doing the petition was not here, would it automatically be denied? And I wasn't sure of that. But if it's not, I'll go ahead and, I have a statement that I have pre-written that I'll go ahead and read through. So. I said, regarding case BZA 2024-18, regarding the design variance from setbacks, I'm against and do not approve the design variance from setbacks for multiple reasons. These reasons include obstruction of view of the street and other buildings from my property, additional noise and disruption to the neighborhood, degradation to my aesthetics of the neighborhood, as well as financial and safety concerns. My property located at 5148 Orange Grove Road, Gosport, Indiana 47433 was recently vandalized. As such, security cameras have been put in place to monitor my home and the area. Creating a structure in close proximity to my home and the street provides a serious concern. It provides additional structures for vandalizers to hide and mitigate being seen from during or planning mischievous activities. It provides a way to block visual view of the roadway from my property or to see the street and subsequent properties down the road. This is concerning as I'm not able to monitor people coming and going and avoid future issues and damage to my property as well as others. I was over $30,000, $40,000 in vandalism to my house with this recently. I'm currently here to voice my concerns and disapproval for such structures being built. It limits visibility from inside my home as well as around the home. As an elderly person, my mother living at the home, they are not able to move for far distances quickly to see roadways and surrounding buildings. 70-year-old. Blocking the field of view is concerning, but also deteriorates the aesthetics of the neighborhood. I say deteriorates because none of the other homes have properties that are really right up against the road like that. At least they're limited, or they were pre-existing prior to, some time. I said this request was also not introduced or discussed with the adjacent homeowners or the HOA. There have been no documentation, support, or reason for the variance or for the work that was being performed there. The property located at 5152 Orange Grove Road, Gosport, Indiana, has performed multiple projects without proper permits, including foundation work on retaining wall outside and various projects such as foundation work inside. As the home continues to be changed, its condition and the concern for improperly being constructed or not following set home standards and requirements will devalue the neighborhood and directly impact my home. The constant noise and construction process is unwanted and stressful for the neighbors and specific ordinances that are set within the Lake Hollybrook HOA. Constant work has already been ongoing at the property since I've owned the adjacent property. Work is performed in late hours and at night. Various calls to authorities have been conducted from the neighborhood due to concerns regarding these noise ordinances. In addition, prior to the building additional structures, it is necessary to maintain the current structures. The current structure is in poor condition, such as tarps on the roof, poor drainage of water from gutters, and other concerns that have financially impacted on my property being adjacent. In addition, based on past weeks, trash and debris involved in construction projects at 5152 Orange Grove Road, Gosport, Indiana 47433 have been dumped on the side of my home. Video surveillance has captured this and is available upon request. There has also been multiple fires for burning various debris and trash within the backyard that were large and in close proximity to my home, so close that I felt it endangered the safety of others and my home. There were no controls in place to maintain and keep control of such fires if it became uncontrollable or uncontrolled. Video surveillance is available showing such fires, but with limited view and perspective because it's not on my property. I've got it written and I've got a couple extra copies to give you, but that's all I really had to go through.
You would give her a copy of that so we can put it in the record. What does the HOA out there say about all of this?
So there's been a lot of concerns. We recently, through the HOA, the last couple meetings, we went to a vote to try to get something more sustainable as to enforce the HOA. It went to a vote, it was 29-32, so it denied, and because of that, the HOA doesn't have a really good way to enforce policies. So there's been multiple issues related to control of animals, noise issues, the use of trash and burning, things not just from this location, but everybody. And so they tried to set up like a new policy, improvement of the lake, and then the third part was to have an enforcement policy. And the enforcement policy was like a financial related, so that they could fine people basically that were not following the ordinances. But the problem is that there's not another way to enforce it really. So they make a claim, they send a comment, they can take them off the ability to vote, but then there's not really a good financial way unless they take them to court and go the legal route. And that's financially burdensome on the HOA, and there's not funds to do that already. So there's been some issues there. I specifically have talked about this address and putting up a fence, and they've approved that, but I have to do another submitted drawing and then figure out where septics are. But the other, and I'm putting in a protection order, but the other homeowner adjacent to this property as well has also got issues in regards to encroachment on their property. They've also put in a protection order already. And there's been continued issues with this person as well as one other person in the homeowner association that the HOA is very well familiar with.
Okay.
And so it is a constant topic of discussion week to week. I don't know if you need additional information.
Anyone else on this is that it?
Yeah, that's so I think I got most of what I need. Thank you.
I think there's no one else for this application, so I think I want a copy of that in with our paperwork.
I will say there was another neighbor who was going to send stuff in, but she didn't get it in.
Okay. Well,
And this would be the neighbor on the other side.
I'm perfectly okay with denying this one since they didn't show up, if that's the general consensus of the board after I close the public hearing. All right, so I will close the public hearing on BZA 2024-18, and then I would entertain a motion to deny.
I'll make that motion to deny.
All right, we got a motion by Sandra, I need a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Corbin, all in favor of denying this petition for numerous reasons. We have to put them in writing. We're going to do it for them not showing up is the most obvious one, but also the opposition, which I think is warranted, can be another finding. Okay? All right, with that being said, all in favor? 5-0. All righty. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Just one for the file.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on. Number 7, public comment. Would anyone like to speak on anything outside of these applications that would pertain to the BZA? Seeing none, staff reports. You have unsafe building and premises. Is that just a heading, or do we have something?
We were going to bring it back up at this meeting. Remember, it was discussed at the last meeting, so I think.
Yes, I can just,
Yeah, if you just want to give us
a
quick overview.
Sounds good.
So,
yes, as an update, there's no longer a desire to see if BZA would want to take on the hearing authority. The ordinance has been changed so that the hearing authority is going to be a 3-member board that will consist of a commissioner, the highway department supervisor, and the health department administrator. So those are the 3-member board that'll be the hearing authority. So it was on the agenda to see if this board would be interested in being that. There was concern about that at the last meeting, so we just went a different route.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Thank you, Dana. Yeah.
I did want to speak on the UDO, the Unified Development Ordinance, which will change the ordinances that we currently govern over, is set to be finalized soon and have an open public hearing on it. Kind of more of a casual thing, and then they will go to the Planning Commission for a full public hearing
Right.
over it. And you guys will get a copy of it, so you guys can read it. There are some, like,
A lot of changes.
additional
Yeah,
changes
yeah.
been made to it. Some things have been added, and so as soon as that comes down, I will send that out to you. And if you want a hard copy, I can print you a hard copy as well, and so you have, it'll be the draft copy.
Just email it to us then.
Yeah.
And the last meeting for that group is Monday at 2?
Yes, Monday is the last official meeting of the chapters, and then it'll go into, they'll put it all together and then submit it back out to us as a full book, as a draft copy, and then it'll go to hearing. So the planning commission will probably hear a public hearing probably in September, their September meeting.
And will that be available to the public somewhere as well?
Once, yes, one in the draft copy, yeah. There'll be a public access so the public can see it as well.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it, that's all I'm gonna, and you will have a meeting next month.
BZA board comments, anything from anyone? All right, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much. Good evening, folks.